Right, so some absolutely bonkers cards have been revealed to be in our next set. Not Fusion Strike, the one after that, the one that's got all the V stars in. And let me tell you, these cards are going to really shake up the game, how it's played, put some new archetypes back on the map, and make some other ones like really scary. Let's take a look. The first one is Double Turbo Energy, almost like a double Colourless Energy reprint, but it has a little bit of a drawback. So what this does is basically it's a special energy card, and when it's attached to a Pokemon, it provides 2 colorless energy at a time. That's pretty cool. We haven't had DC in a format for what seems like a long time now, and this is going to put some attackers back on the map. This will allow for some insane power spike turns, in my opinion. Imagine this in combination with Raihan, right? You can attach a basic energy from your discard, and then search out your DCE, sling it on. That's essentially a 3 energy swing turn. That's pretty crazy. It also makes that Arceus V that we sort of seen actually potentially play well now, because before 3 separate energy attachments could have been a bit sus. You could have used stuff like Melody, and maybe we still will, I'm not sure, but this is another option for that deck. It also puts Snorlax VMAX, a card which I've been wanting to play for the longest of times but haven't seen any reason to. Again, this put this back on the map as well, because you're confidently 2-shot anything anyways when you have a full bench with Snorlax VMAX, so the -20 really isn't much of a drawback, and you have such a ton of health, it could actually be pretty decent. But let me tell you, Snorlax probably gains more from the other card that was revealed, not this one, you know what I mean? It's also a pretty mad card for Blissey. Blissey doing 10+30 for each energy card attached to it. And DC does count for 2. We've seen expanded. Blissey V is a powerhouse deck. And, you know, having this in standard only buffs it and potentially makes it even more crazy and expanded as well. That's a scary thought. And there's also one other attack which we have seen be super meta, but it's sort of fallen off a little bit. But I think this double turbo energy will put it back into meta contention. I'm talking about Galarian Rapidash V. With that Lieberhorn attack, letting you basically get any one of your opponent's Pokemon, put them down to 100 HP left. You know, now that we have this single energy attachment to fulfill that Lieberhorn as early as turn 1, I can see Galarian Rapidash being pretty played, you know. If you haven't got any, I'd get some now. But I think the biggest recipient of this double turbo energy has to be Togekiss VMAX, right? Before, if you missed energy with Togekiss, you were in trouble big time. If you didn't find your Melanie or whatever, you're essentially not attacking, and your offensive presence really wasn't that big anyway. But now, if you miss an energy turn 1, you can just try and dig for the double turbo, and you're off to the races. And similar to Snorlax, the other card that got revealed is absolutely bonkers for Togekiss too. Oh my lord. So this next card, whoo boy. Okay, what it does, choose one of your colorless Pokemon with any damage counters on it. Put that Pokemon and all cards attached to it back into your hand. Oh my goodness. Now, this is very similar to Acerola. In fact, it's pretty much the same, except it has to be for colorless Pokemon, right? Acerola was a crazy card. You saw it in like Zoroark decks, stall tanky decks, because you can basically just remove damage and keep all your resources, right? AZ was sort of similar, but AZ made you discard the resources, right? Makes it a bit more costly. Whereas now with this, if you have a combination of Power Pads and Cheren's Care, you can keep doing this over and over again. It's pretty crazy, right? But the reason why we haven't seen a card like this is because VMAXs are so crazy, right? They have so much HP, and now being able to just whoop, scoop them all up seems pretty crazy. And again, there are some pretty crazy recipients for a card like this. Let's start off with Blissey, a 2-prize Pokemon, has 280 HP, and again, you can just scoop up all the energy. And essentially with Blissey, you are sort of 2-shot and VMAXs most of the time, so you can 2-shot VMAXs with a 2-prizer that you can just keep Cherening over and over and over again. That seems rough. Again, Snorlax becomes a crazy geezer. Snorlax has a ton of HP anyway and hits for good damage. But now, provided you can get ahead on energy attachments somehow, you can just sort of loop Cheren's Care, take a hit, bang, 2-shot, loop Cheren's Care, take a hit, bang. Oh, I just don't know what they're doing printing cards like this. Oh my god. But the biggest recipient, again, has to be Togekiss VMAX. Togekiss VMAX now has a lot going for it. Number one, it can search the Cherens out. You can play stuff like Milotic that's coming out in Fusion Strike to stop your opponent Marnieing, right? You've got a Dunsparce that removes your weakness. You have a free retreat. And now you have Cheryl's and Cheren's Care. Do you even bother playing Cheryl's anymore? Probably not, right? You just play Cheren's Care, Power Pads, and oh my goodness, what are they doing? Colourless is going to get put back on the map ASAP. Make sure you go buy them stuffs now. I will be, and getting ready for the regionals, baby. Let's go.